Hello everyone! In light of recent events, I wanted to use my knowledge as a private maths tutor to help in any way that I can. So I'm going to be running some free Facebook Live videos on events to give some lessons to students all the way from Key Stage 3 all the way through to A-level. I'm hoping this will help a little bit, as with all the schools closing, parents are now faced with the prospect of having to homeschool their children, which obviously can be quite difficult if you don't have any knowledge in maths, which, to be honest, most people wouldn't really. So I'm hoping I can help a little bit with that. Today I wanted to just get on a quick video just to give a little bit of advice for parents who are being faced with having to homeschool. The first thing that I wanted to give advice on is resources. So there are so many resources out there that you can use, not just for maths but for all sorts of subjects. So definitely have a look online, see what you can find. I've linked some below that I use all the time, so hopefully they should be quite useful. One that I'd really recommend is one called Math Salamanders. This is for primary age school children, so Key Stage 1, Key Stage 2. It's an American site, so you might have to make a few changes, for example from dollars to pounds, but other than that it's a really great resource. It has really good worksheets, games, colouring, all sorts, and a lot of the colouring and games have been a really big hit with any of my students, so I'd really recommend that. Another one that I would recommend is for the older children, so this would be for high school, so Key Stage 3, Key Stage 4, and that's called Study Maths. Again, I'll link it down below. The best thing about the Study Maths website is the worksheets. So it randomly generates worksheets on all sorts of topics. It has loads of topics on there. And because the worksheets are randomly generated, it means that you can do them over and over again without it being the same questions. You can also fill in your answers on it and it will give you a score out of 10, so it's really great for tracking progress, as well as just repetitive practice, which is really key in maths anyway. And that sort of brings me on to the next piece of advice which I'd give, which is a bit of consistency and a bit of repetition. Particularly in maths, this is really, really important. So if you can do the same topic over and over and over again, then you'll understand it and you'll know what to do, and that's really the key to it, to be honest. So try and make sure that you are doing some maths, obviously not just maths, all your subjects, try and keep them up a little bit. Now this is probably quite a daunting prospect to parents as well, because they're thinking, how am I going to fit all this in the day? Especially if you have more than one child, I understand that can be really difficult. So I'm not saying to sit down for 2 hours every single day and do the hardest questions you can find. I don't think that's necessarily needed. All I would suggest is, maybe do half an hour and do a topic that is something that you feel fairly confident in, but you just want to recap over. Doing those things will actually be a really big confidence booster as well. So then when you go back to school, you feel like, yeah, I'm good at maths, so I'm good at my subjects because I've been doing all these topics, I've been going over it, I've been revising, and it all makes sense. I know what I'm doing. So actually, sometimes doing the more simple topics and just for a short amount of time can be really beneficial. So I'd really recommend to do that. And then if there is, a day where you feel like, actually, I think we can tackle one of the harder topics today, then brilliant. That's great too. It's just keeping it up, really, keeping it up in any way that you can. And then finally, what I'd recommend to do is try and incorporate as much fun and variation as you can, which can be particularly difficult in maths, but actually for younger children, so for primary school children, it's actually not too hard. It's actually fairly easy. It involves doing games, doing colouring, doing anything that you find fun, but just adapting it and making it involve maths in some way. And you can do this for your other subjects as well. Any other subjects this could work for. One thing that I would do with my students is a sort of a paint by numbers style colouring, but rather than just finding the numbers, it could be that you have to do a sum to get there, and then once you've done the sum, you know which colour it is to colour. So that's one way that you could incorporate a bit of fun. Another way is board games. Board games go down really, really well with all my students. They always love it, especially the primary school students. They love it. pick a board game that you already play, that you already enjoy, and again just change it. So add in some times tables to it. In order to make the next move along, you have to do the times table, and if you get it wrong, you have to miss a turn. Try and get everyone involved in this, get all the family to take part, and the best thing you can do as parents is make mistakes. So, you know, have to do 3 times 6 and get it wrong, and have your child point out your mistake and then be like, oh, I have to miss a turn because I made a mistake. It's a real confidence booster for children. They'll feel like, oh, I can do something that mummy couldn't do, or I can do something that daddy couldn't do, and it'll make them feel really smart and like they can really do it, and it will just boost their confidence. Their confidence will skyrocket with things like that, and they're going to have fun as well. So that really is a key thing. It's great for the younger children to do things like that. So that's one thing I'd really recommend. I can appreciate though that incorporating fun and variation for older students, so your Key Stage 3, Key Stage 4, A-level, can be a little bit difficult because they might not be so interested in the paint by numbers or the board games, and actually incorporating some of those harder topics into that is a little bit more challenging, especially if you're not an expert in it, if you're just their parent and you might not be an expert. So I'm hoping to help with that. That's why I'm going to be running the free live videos. The reason why I've done it live is so that it can almost be like a scheduled lesson for them. It might add a little bit more stability, which I think everyone will probably need at the moment. So I'm hoping it will help for the parents as well, to be able to say, well, you've got your math session online with Hayley at this time. So I'm hoping that will help. I'll be creating events on Facebook, all of the different topics, and I'll say the kind of age range that it would be suitable for, so you can join the groups and then obviously watch the videos. I will be promoting them on Instagram, Twitter, so follow me, Hayley Booth's Maths Tutoring. On obviously Facebook will be the key one, but also Instagram and Twitter as well. I'll be making all the announcements and sharing everything that I can on there. So definitely go and check that out, and if you have any questions that you'd like me to cover in those, or any topics that you'd like me to cover, then please do comment down below, or you can always send me a message. You can send me a private message, or just write a message on my Facebook. That would be absolutely fine. Or if as a parent you're thinking, oh, I really need a resource for something in particular, feel free to ask me. I'm going to try and help as much as I can. It's a really difficult time for everyone, and I think we should all be trying to do our bit to help in whatever way we can, and for me that's helping with maths. So I'm hoping I can help everyone. Thank you for watching this video. I hope that's helped a little bit, and I hope to see some of you watching some of the live videos very soon. Thank you very much.